Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Garutmanta comes, and because of his effect, all the Nagapasha that was tying Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana, all those snakes, they go away. Garutmanta informs Sri Ramachandra that he would let Sri Ramachandra know as to who he is at the appropriate time, and Garutmanta leaves. Now, since Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana are back into their senses and they are more energetic both physically and mentally now, all the Vanaras make huge noise. They again invite for the war. Ravana is perturbed. He is like, how come some of the best astras of the world, how could these astras not show any effect? That's how Ravana thinks. He is really unhappy at what has happened. And now, in some versions of Ramayana, they say these were heard by Sita Ma, and she felt very happy. The call of war from the Vanara's side served as an information to Sita Ma that Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana are back and they are good, and now they are again calling for a war, which is extremely good. So that's the understanding of Sita Ma here. Ravana is perturbed, and Ravana thinks that how the biggest of his astras did not work, how Indradit's astras did not work, and how come Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana are back to their senses. So he becomes very angry. He calls one of his very, very capable generals, Dhumraaksha, and he says, "Oh Dhumraaksha, go attack and kill all the Vanaras and come back." Now Dhumraaksha immediately calls his Senapati and he says, "Get ready." Dhumraaksha is quite an important general in Ravana's army, so Dhumraaksha orders for his army to be ready, and then he comes out. As he is coming out, he sees a lot of bad omens. A body without head comes and falls quite near his Ratha. That actually gives a very bad omen that this man is not going to return. But then Dhumraaksha ignores all of that and he comes through the western gate of Lanka, and the Rakshasas and the Vanaras start the fight. Initially, Vanaras have the complete upper hand on Rakshasas. They make short work of Rakshasas. The attack from the Vanara side was so fierce that these Rakshasas started running for their lives. Dhumraksha sees all this, and to encourage his army, because his army is basically fleeing, and this is a pattern that we see every time. The initial attack of Vanaras would always be so fierce that the Rakshasa army basically thinks of quitting the battlefield. The Atiradhi or the Maharadha, whoever is the guy who has come over there, he tries to rally his troops around. He hurts Vanaras. Then the important Vanaraviras like Hanuman, Angada or someone come, and then there will be a dual fight between the head of the Rakshasas in that war and the head of the Vanaras, and then obviously the Vanara hero will be prevailing. That's the common aspect that we see, and this time also this happens. I mean, this is how it starts actually. So Dhumraksha immediately rallies his troops and he starts killing Vanaras, and he starts killing so many Vanaras that Swami Hanuman had to enter the battlefield. The Rakshas are almost, thinking that they are going to win, but then Hanuman comes, and as Swami Hanuman comes, he starts making short work of a lot of Rakshasas. Many Rakshasas die in the hands of Hanuman, and then Dhumraksha goes and asks Swami Hanuman for a duel. They both start fighting. Dhumraksha uses a lot of arrows. Swami Hanuman dilly-dallies for a moment, and then he takes a huge boulder and he throws it on Dhumraksha's Ratha. The Ratha is broken. Dhumraksha quickly jumps out. Swami Hanuman takes another boulder and he's jumping onto Dhumraksha. That Dhumraksha uses his Gada or his mace to hit Swami Hanuman very hard. Swami Hanuman is hit very hard, but he does not leave the boulder in his hands, and with that boulder he breaks the skull and the body and everything of Dhumraksha. Dhumraksha is dead, and then Vanaras again go on the offensive. The Rakshasas who are left, they run away into Lanka and they inform Ravana that Dhumraksha is dead. Ravana is angry. In the Prachya Patha, once Ravana hears this, he immediately calls for Akampana. But in some other pathas, we hear that Ravana calls for another general called Vajradamstra and orders Vajradamstra to go and attack the Vanaras. He immediately leaves out. Now, some say this is Prakshipta because it is not available in Prachapatha. Nevertheless, we'll listen to what the other pathas have got to say about this. So, Vajradamstra comes out. He orders for his troops. Very wonderful troops are assembled for him. He has a lot of elephants, chariots, and all coming with him. Again, he comes out and he chooses to use the southern gate or the Dakshina Dwara of Lanka. he comes out with a huge army and they start attacking Vanaras fiercely. Vanaras also attack them fiercely. Initially, Vanaras show the upper hand. Then Vajradamstra again comes out to level it. Angada then enters the field because Angada is guarding the Dakshinadwara, right, from the outside. So he is the man who is taking the war there, and he starts attacking the Rakshasas. The Rakshasas are dying left, right, center. Vajradamstra realizes that he needs to come into the war. He and Angada start engaging in a huge fight. Angada picks up boulders, he uses big trees, and he finally breaks the chariot of Vajradamstra. Vajradamstra comes out. They both have a fight again, and as they are fighting, Angada gets a hold on Vajradamstra's sword, and with the sword, he separates the head and the rest of the body of Vajradamstra, and thus Vajradamstra is killed. All the Rakshasas are now doing hahakara. They are like, oh, what has happened? Why has this happened? How did our leader Vajradamstra die? And then they all go back. They report this to Ravana. Ravana is again visibly shaken that Vajradamstra is also dead. And then he looks towards Akampana. Now, how would Akampana come in? How would Akampana fight? With whom would he fight? All that we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niravayaah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvam sattu saraswam charanarvindar pranamastu. Swasti. Jai Shri Ram.